Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I'm joined by...
James the Wildcard.
And the Stark Lord.
Don't try to be intimidating, you fail.
I never try to be intimidating. It's like say my name in dumb ways.
So, how's everybody doing?
Good. I have a question real quick.
Okay.
Why do we always introduce ourselves when they already know who's on the channel before we say it? Because there's little pictures of us right up front?
Because some people don't look at the pictures when they listen to this.
And if it's a new listener, now they know who we are.
Oh, I see now. My eyes have been opened.
Now
Good.
you finally see the light,
I do.
and it's... I forgot the... And it's like the fog is lifted.
Sure. You could say that.
So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
We actually do have a couple of questions here from some of the viewers from podcast number 22, which is technically podcast number 21 because there was never a podcast number 16.
Well, that was confusing. So, yeah.
We need to do a
Go
special
ahead.
edition of number 16.
Yes, one day, there will be a 16th podcast.
I think that needs to happen, but it should just be like 30 seconds of just someone going, "Rah!" and that'd be it.
Now we can't do that anymore, Stark Lord, because you already gave it away.
Thanks.
Oh. Alright, this is being recorded.
Yeah.
Forget.
Alrighty. We do have a couple of questions. The first one is from Ninja Wolf Hybrid.
Ah, hey,
who,
like that guy. He's cool.
if I recall here, let me just quickly check something real quick. Yes, Ninja Wolf, you are the first person we've heard of who's ever played the White Wolf card deck.
Yes,
game.
you commented on our thing saying that the funny thing about making a deck for Rage, and I was like, wow, I've not met anyone that actually plays that game. It never really picked up around here.
No, it didn't. Actually, I have a friend who collected the cards, but he never played.
Yeah, I know, for the vampire version of it, there was, a setup for building, a deck with, cars in it and potence, which is, super strength, and then throwing cars at people, and that sounded cool, but that's about all I know about that game. And I don't yeah. Well, that's cool that you play, and White Wolf is awesome.
And,
That is cool.
He asked us a question, which is, what's your favorite story or legend from the 40k Fluff?
Oh.
Oh.
Huh.
Now, just in the interest of stalling for time, as we all think, define
Not gonna help.
legend in 40k Fluff, because there's certain things that, it's legendary, but it's still not like a legend.
Well, he says favorite story or legend. So it could be just a plain piece of fluff, or it could be, I guess maybe the murder of the Eldar Pantheon. That would count as a legend from 40k Fluff.
Right. It's
That
just
is a big legend.
the one thing I find difficult for is Fluff. I mean, story, yes. But I find when it comes to legends, it's the line between 40k fact and 40k legend, the myth is so blurred, I can't tell where it is.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'd have to say probably, if I had to choose my favorite story fluff legend,
Story
it would...
Fluff legend? Is it all three?
Yes.
Okay.
It would have to be the Fall of Caliban.
That is a good one.
I have no idea what that is. Is that when they blow up the Dark Angels planet?
That's when the Dark Angels discover that half their chapter went evil, and Luthor and the Lion battle it out on the planet in a titanic duel.
That's
While
cool.
the planet's being torn apart.
Yep. And the sheer force of their attacks weaken the foundation around them.
Okay.
And it was sheer through brotherly love that spared one and ultimately caused the doom of the other. And it was through that brotherly love that the fallen was saved.
Okay, it sounds like you just became like a 40k priest. You gotta stop.
I shall make a new church, and we shall disregard all things in the Church of Kelly.
Oh, you're going to go against the Church of Kelly? Go for it.
We will make a new religion that will steal half of their beliefs and most of their holidays.
Well, you should always steal their holidays. If I learned anything from historical religion creating, stealing the holidays of the people you want to take into your religion, always a good idea.
Oh, yeah. So,
Okay.
Lord, what's yours?
I'm done with big bashing organized religion.
Yeah, it's not really bashing, it's just being silly.
Yes. But, so, I've answered the question. What about you guys?
I have no
What I
idea.
find silly.
What?
Well then,
I
here's
can tell you what
another
I find
question.
silly.
Go for it.
And I do have something also. What I find silly is the concept of the race knight needing to be a twin and the crying in the fetal position in the body, and that's how piloting it. I find that silly.
Wait. What? Hold on. The Wraith Knight is powered by tears?
Well, what it is the knights are piloted by a Eldar, but the spirit stone of the craft is his twin, or her twin.
Okay.
And the pilot is supposed to be crying tears for the mourning and wishing the death of their spirit stone brethren, so they could be at peace. So essentially,
it's an emo knight. It's an emo knight. Why doesn't it have the hair over the camera?
Because in my craft world, they aren't crying.
Right.
Yes, because it's men and women. But it's just when I heard that, I went, it's cool. The concept of a twin is cool. It makes them exceptionally rare. I'm assuming unless Eldars is naturally born twin. But I'm assuming it makes them rare. It makes it kind of interesting, the whole idea of like twin, that connection of the dead and the living and their twins. But then when they went all emo on me, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that's a bit much. I think
I haven't read the actual book yet. I'm slowly getting into the unit section. I haven't seen if that's actually in there, if they just threw that in the White Dwarf for fun.
It's probably in there. The White Dwarf is almost verbatim half the time. I think, it's really hard to pick a good legend from 40k.
Or just fluff story. Another good one, I'd say my second favorite one, is this story where it's another Dark Angels one, because Dark Angels have a bunch of good ones. I can't just say the Eldar, because it would just be all of the Eldar story, because everything Eldar is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But another good Dark Angels one is this one where these Dark Angels are on this planet. They're answering a distress call from an Imperial regiment.
Oh, this story. Yeah.
While they're going, one of them gets shot, and it's a sniper round right through their gene seed. And so the sergeant's like, well, screw this, and he just starts bulldozing through buildings to get to the location. And when he gets there, the officer greets him and points out his regiment, which are all Ogrins. So the sergeant looks at all the Ogrins, he then takes off his helmet, spits on the ground, and says, "Brother so-and-so did not die so we could save this alien scum. Come on, brothers, we are leaving," and he leaves them there to die.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
It's a lot of good Dark Angel ones. I like them because I like the dark nature, and very much that, you know what, something that surrounds the Alliance as well, is we're going to figure out a way to maximize damage with minimizing our casualties, even if that means that city gets partially wiped out, because we care about space marine lives of our brothers equally as much as destroying the enemy, which I like.
Yeah. I like, that's good. I think some of my favorite stuff is all the Emperor finding the Primarch stuff. I like all that stories, because a lot of them show, like, the ones that are going to fall, how they're going to fall. Like, I like Mortarion's and how, like, he doesn't quite complete his goal and the Emperor does it for him, and he kind of resents him for that, And I'm a big fan of Angron at this point. Angron's become one of my favorites, because, like, after reading, like, the Dorian Heresy, which I know is a fanfic, but, like, how he could have been different, I just really appreciate the original, and it's just like, he's pretty angry, and he's got a pretty good reason to be angry.
Of course he's angry. His name is Angron.
I know.
Like, Angron is so brutally simple, yet so deep of a character. Like, it's just, like, when you first look at him and go, oh, raving psychopath, whatever. And then the way he does things is just efficiently simple. But then when you start learning about him, which is really difficult because he kills things.
Yeah, it's hard to learn about someone that kills stuff constantly.
But when you start learning, I realize he's got this deep kind of character, and he has like this really, really primal, feral, but simplistic, and we've got this sense of honor and everything about him. And it's just pretty cool because you don't expect that out of him. You always see him as a psychopathic berserker that kills everything. One of my favorite parts about Amazon is in one of the novels. I forget which one, but he's leading a big contingent of his world eaters, like a nice little battle force, up this gigantic ramp. He's just marching up. They're all berserk, and he's like slapping the chain axes against their chests, and he's bellowing commands. And then the entire freaking thing blows up because it was a trap. And literally the entire thing gets destroyed, like by mines that would take out titans, essentially. And so you go, oh damn. And then the story continues, and out of nowhere, he bursts out of the rubble and just murders everyone around him. And I'm just like, whoa, he's scary.
Yeah, no, he's not. He does that. That's kind of why he's cool. I mean, for the crazy murderous monster.
Yeah. As far as, there's a couple of things that I'm thinking about it. I mean, I like the Eldar myths, I do, because they feel very Greco-Roman to me.
Yes.
The way the Eldar are.
I love that feel behind the Eldar stuff a lot.
So I really enjoyed that. Another kind of fluff legendary time period is, I really like Solar Macarius.
I don't know much about him. I just know he was
basically Alexander the Great of the Imperial Guard. Basically.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It basically describes his entire fluff. He's really cool. I like there's two novels for him out now. One just came out recently.
Yep.
So that's really cool, and he leads this great crusade, and goes through some dark times, and eventually how it ends. And I thought that was really cool because here is a character. Here is a human. He's not a Space Marine warlord general. We all know they're great heroes, and that each Space Marine's a hero in his own right. We got this Imperial Guard leader of men. Probably the best, the most, the brightest, the best Imperial Guard leader ever. Leading not just in his own units, but also detachments of Space Marines and other stuff through a gigantic quest. I just think that was pretty cool because it's very rooted in like just a normal person almost.
Yeah. Going off of that, oh, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. If you have more to say about Macarius, keep going.
I don't know. It's a different.
I was gonna say like how that reminds me of how awesome Creed is.
Yeah, Creed is cool. Creed, I do like Creed. You're not getting a lot of short stuff.
Yeah, he has a nice bit of short fluff. He's like, Abaddon's greatest annoyance because he keeps winning, like, crusades against him. And, like, his origin stories are cool, and he's totally Space Patton.
He's Space Patton and Schwarzkopf in my eyes.
Yeah.
A mixture of the two.
Definitely.
Funny story I actually heard about Solus Macarius once. Or Solus, I forget.
Whatever.
You know who I is there's a game that happened where this dude had him and a I forget what the scenario was, but Solus had Macarius had to make a leadership check, and he rolls and he fails, and there was a commissar attached to him, and. So the guy goes, wait a minute, he gets a reroll with his leadership. And so he rolls 12.
Uh-oh.
Double sixes. And so they described it as the commissar turning to Macarius and going, for your treacheries and betrayals of the Emperor, you must die, as he blows the back of his head off.
Yeah, Solus Macarius had a model.
Yes, he did. It's a cool model.
It's just hilarious to think of that guy getting shot for treason and cowardice by a commissar.
It happens. Commissars shoot everybody.
At the same time, the part of the fellow Macarius, he was so successful that ranking members of the Imperium actually found him a threat because he's too successful.
Yeah, that always happens.
Yeah, he made enemies in his empire because he's like, this guy's too good. He's too good. This isn't good. But he had a cool model, kind of, except for his posing was kind of dumb because the way the standard Macarius pose is both pistols on one hand, the other, both outstretched in front of him forward, and it just looks kind of lame.
Let's see, do they still have it on the GW site?
No, I don't think they do. If they do, I'd be surprised. I highly doubt it. But
I am finding it now.
The one type of fluff thing that I really like, that I don't even know if it's really official anymore, because I found it on like one site years ago. It was Dark Angels related. And basically there's a guy, some dude, I think he wears Terminator armor, I don't know. But he basically is one of the dudes in charge of basically the Rock.
Okay.
Like, he basically never leaves the Rock. He's the equivalent of a captain, sort of like captaining, but, whatever.
Okay.
So he's the captain of the Rock, which is, a part ship, part moon, piece of planet. Gigantic thing. And the reason I found it pretty cool is that he sits at the command throne, and his armor is jet black. And there's, looks like a constellation or like a series of stars on the armor. And the interesting thing is, no matter where he's facing, those stars shift on his armor to basically point out, kind of like a compass, where Caliban was, the planet Caliban actually was in the universe.
That's cool.
So if it's to his 6 o'clock, let's say, or like south or east of him, these things just shift and they go to where if he turned forward it would be at his chest, and that's where that's to get back to Caliban type of thing. Which was, I thought, really cool, and just really this thing that had no bearing on anything ever, game-wise. Not really fluff, because you never really hear anything about the Rock. It's always just this ominous presence in the background that's coming or is left. Yeah. So it's just a dude, which is pretty cool. I always thought that was kind of interesting. It's this star pattern on his armor that always shifts position to always point out where Caliban was. And it kind of goes...
Oh, wait, hold on a second, James. I think Viz is trying to do something.
This is
What is that? Stop it.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on for a second.
What are you doing wrong? You're supposed to be the techie person here. Stop doing things.
The stupid video advertisement that appeared, but my Internet Explorer decided to hide it so I couldn't see it.
Oh, why are you using Internet Explorer? That's your first mistake.
I'm using Internet Explorer. I'm using Firefox.
Okay, good save. Second, why aren't you using headphones?
I am not, because I am not in a room disturbing other people.
You're disturbing me, grr. Now I'm the angry person on the channel.
There.
Okay, so what were you saying, James? So we can hear you now.
That war gear I thought was just pretty cool. And it fits in with what we have modern-wise in the new Dark Angel Codex, with like those stones on the ship, but also where they get them from and how they seem to be... It's like a cool kind of dark, like midnight nature to the Dark Angels. It's always been there, and we see it a little bit more so now in certain ways, that I felt that armor really touched upon. And
that sounds pretty awesome.
The thing is, I own all of the Dark Angel iteration of codices. When there was Angels to the Death and Up, like Angels and Death Up. And there's no mention of it in any of those. So I saw on the site, and it was a site of like Dark Angel Fluff. But, it was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And I don't know. I just don't know the validity of it, but it was a very cool story. Little thing for that. And I also like Two Heads Talking. The tale of Two Heads Talking is always pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one.
Which one's that?
Two Heads Talking is a Deathwing detachment. Not even the entire Deathwing company, I don't believe. They're not too exact in the actual short story itself, but basically it's this librarian who he has a Dark Angel name because when you join the Dark Angel, you're given a name, and everything else doesn't matter. So, his name might have been Raspberry or something like that, or something, Ezekiel, not really, because we know Ezekiel, the other guy, but he had a name, but his tribe name, basically, because it had a very Native American feel to the Deathwing, was Two Heads Talking. He was a librarian. So he was Two Heads Talking. And they go to their recruitment world, where they were recruited from. and it's got a gene stealer infestation. And this squad, or a detachment of Deathwing, by themselves cleanse the entire gene stealer cult population from the planet, saving the recruitment world. And what happens is, Two Heads Talking dies, but he had this cool psychic ability to basically link himself to his opponent spiritually. So if he got hurt, it would hurt them. So as he was dying to the Gene Stealer Patriarch, he linked his mind with the Gene Stealer and brought him to death with him.
That's pretty cool.
And the surviving Deathwing eradicated the rest of the Gene Stealers, and the Dark Eagles showed up, and they were like, "Hey, cool job," basically. So I mean, this is a cool little tale. It's an old tale, and that's part of the reason why you see the feathers on the Deathwing and the like Native American-esque stuff on there. Because they used to be a lot more of that aspect of the Dark Angels, and now it's more subdued. But it's still there.
Yeah.
We do have a second question.
Okay. But there's so many more legends to go through. No, I'm just kidding.
This one is from, I'm not going to even, again, it's a regular. Name is QIINSR. He asks, if you can change the color/look on an established chapter, what chapter, why, and what is their new look going to be? Will you remove the fur from Space Wolves or the sparkly yellow from the fists?
Yes, I saw this question, and I do have to disagree with, I don't know if it's the same person or the other comment about saying painting them up a certain color that they want to do. It wouldn't be that chapter in my eyes. But, again, you do what you like to do.
Yes.
Now, is this changing just color and look? We're not changing the fluff, right? We're just changing, like...
Not changing the fluff, just changing the look.
Interesting.
That's a tough one. Well, first off with that, since we can't change the fluff of the Space Wolves, let's not even talk about them. They're still terrible.
Well, you were here for the episode where we answered why we hate them, so you can't answer that.
Well...
Fine.
We're going to pick on the Space Wolves a bit, and not pick on them. I'm going to use them as an example, as something that I would change, specifically with the Space Wolves, is take away the baby blue and put them back in the pre-heresy awesome gray.
Oh, just straight gray on them? Like gray?
They were like, they had like this gray that had a slight blue tinge to it a bit, but it wasn't like baby blue, which they are now, basically. It was a lot, 13th Company gray. That type of gray.
Okay.
Like it looked a lot better. The blue they have now is just so like, look at us, we're Space Wolves. And it's like, but the other one was like, wow, this is some, like, the other one was like a wolf pelt. The color was like a gray wolf pelt color.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Okay.
I mean, that's just one of several things, like, it's not for Space Wolves, it's one of several different chapters I could think of, color scheme-wise, to change.
One for me, I would say, is if I were to change something, what would it be?
I'd do a palette swap.
For what?
I would do a palette swap with the Dark Angels and the Angels of Vengeance.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Just the green. I would throw the green onto the Angels of Vengeance, and I'll bring the black power armor back to the Dark Angels. Just because it would be easier to paint up a pre-heresy Dark Angel army and still use them in a post-heresy army. That's the only reason.
So you would change the Dark Angels back to black?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting if you think about it. When you look at them and other parent chapters, you really know the other parent chapters change their colors. They keep their original Legion color, and the others change.
Yeah.
But that's one.
Let's see. See, one of them, the one thing that I could think of is something that I would change, but it would change the fluff behind them, so I can't really use that one. An established color. chapter. That's really hard for me to answer. I can't really think of anything. Because I've never found a chapter. I've never found a chapter where I looked at it and went, "Oh, that's not right."
I haven't either, to be honest. It's just I'm just nitpicking here and there. If I could change anything, really, I would change the freaking Blood Angel's helmet color so make them just be red.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's something I can fall in with. I like most of the established ones, but the yellow, the blue, and like the ugly helmet colors on the Blood Angels. Yeah.
The yellow I can deal with if I had to. The gold I like. I like the golden honor guard style helmet. You know, phony. Like we are veterans, but we're not part of the Sanguinary Guard. But we're elite. We're first company. You know, with that golden helmet. That's fine. Mm-hmm. It's the blue on the Devastator that really, really bothers me.
Well, that's why they don't feel devastated.
But it's just like. And also, like, I'd rather have red helmeted assault marines, personally. I know, yes, I could just do that. You can write in the comments, you can just do that, but I like to keep it true as best, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, like, they're really specific on what their helmet color is supposed to be, and the blue ones do throw me off. I mean, I don't like the yellow ones, but I get it, and yellow's fine. Yeah. I would like the assault marines to all have red helmets, and the troops have yellow helmets, and for Devastators in blue.
I were to change one, I would probably say I'd probably put Thousand Suns back in red.
I agree with you. I mean, as much as I like the blue-yellow super Egyptian theme of the color scheme.
Well, I get it because blue's apparently the color of Zenith, for the most part. But I kind of think they would look cool in red and gold.
They do look
cool. They were
red.
very smashing in red and gold. I had an army of them.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Of them.
It was a good army. It was definitely.
Well, it still exists. It's sitting in my closet. If anyone wants it.
Yeah, right. But it's just they look really smart in red and gold. Because it was red and gold with white accents. It was a very smart color scheme for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imperial Fists. I get it. They're yellow. I'm not quite sure why, but I get it. That's the one I would say of the big like parent chapters. That's the one that I'm kind of one. This made me think. I don't hate it, just why yellow? But they always been described as golden armor.
Maybe they could just bring it down a bit, not have the whole thing be yellow. I don't know, maybe put more like grays in there and just break it up a little bit.
I don't mind that. And what's cool is when if you notice, for example, Blood Ravens have Purity Seal color of green. Imperial Fist Purity Seal colors were originally black, so you had black Purity Seal from the yellow armor. It looks cool.
Yeah, that does look cool.
But when you read about them, they're always described as golden. The golden, like not like straight up gold like Custodian Guard, but they were described as the golden Astartes or even bronze to an extent. So they had a bit more of a metallic color, because I'm trying to think, and there really isn't a metallic colored founding chapter that's loyal.
Yeah. I can't really think of one.
And well, there are successes, but not one on the first founding. So I would have really thought it'd be cool if they pretty much picked up the mantle, not quite Custodian Guard-esque in terms of ornateness, but if they were just golden armored Marines. They're always described as the golden, like the golden sons of Thorn. So why not? I think the Black Templar should be yellow. No, I'm joking.
And speaking about all this stuff, has anyone here, aside from me, thumbed through the new Eldar Codex yet?
Nope.
I have not, but I am really intrigued about the Spirit Seer style of army.
The Spirit Seer is interesting, especially if you throw in a bunch of him, because then it's basically free guides everywhere.
Right, but like, isn't he an issue or something that gives you the ability to make a Wraith army? Pure Wraith army?
Yes. If you get him, he makes Wraith Guards and Wraith Blades troops.
That is cool to me, because I would totally, if I was to make an Elven army, would go straight up Wraith.
Well, actually,
that's a cool elite army right there.
in the new Iaden book, they have special things where you can actually give a Wraith Lord a Warlord trait.
Now, here's a question.
And it
I'm
gives
not sure how I
the
feel
Spirit
about that,
Seer
though.
more. It gives the Spirit Seer more psychic powers and the lot.
Okay.
Speaking of the Yandon book thing, did you see? I don't know if it's going to translate over to Games Workshop specific products for codices and whatnot, but now Black Library is introducing stuff for Android, Kindle, and iBook.
Really?
Black Library? Yeah,
Yep, Black Library has, like...
Black Library has always had the ability to download their books for iBook and Amazon. They just haven't had an official app.
But now they have the ability, you can buy their electronic books from Black Library for Kindle, iBook, or Android.
Well, that's good.
So,
it's been around
hopefully
for...
that's going to translate into the codex scene.
Oh, the big problem with the codex is...
Well, that was around since the Dark Angels book came out, because before Ravenwing came out, that was the only way I could buy a copy of Angels of Darkness was a Kindle book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the codex is a little different because, you know, they're not like PDFs, they're not just written text. Like, GW's trying to make them prettier and like have mechanical...
It's a little different, but it's not that hard.
Yeah, they're just...
I'm hoping that this is just going to light a fire under their butts to do it.
Yeah,
well,
I guess why they haven't.
Because,
I mean, they haven't done this because they know the formatting for iOS. iOS has 2 formats. It's easy to make sure everything looks good in that.
The only other thing is that they're going to go with the argument of, well, then you have no way to easily look up rules type of thing, blah, blah, blah. It's only good with the ISO system and blah, 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 and all that other stuff.
My concern is with that so I can't say now, the Iaden, how do you say that? Iaden, thank you. Book is only like on iOS, right? It's only an ebook.
Rumor has it that next
physical
week's
copy.
coming out in hard copy.
Is there going to be a hard copy?
Rumor has
coming
it
out
that
later.
The hard copy's coming out like next week or something.
Okay, because like if it doesn't come out, then how are people supposed to play it? You know, or like how are you supposed to?
The idea is that digital is first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's now, I'm like, cool, digital, great, but I don't know how this works.
To be perfectly honest, I would probably rather purchase the digital copy. That way I'm only carrying 1 book and not like 3 books on me.
Oh yeah, that's just the way.
Yeah, then you gotta carry a tablet. So I don't have
but a tablet's lighter than a book.
And if your tablet gets wet, then you lose all your books.
But here's my thing.
Get them back.
What?
With the Aiden book, right?
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that because I might have worded like there will be a hard copy coming, whenever that is. But my concern is this: first off, Games Workshop went hard for making supplemental things like this go away in the up until this, basically.
Yeah.
They made it everything self-contained within the codex. Great, grand, wonderful. Now you have Yaden, which is cool. But then why do you? I think they should have kept Prince Uriel out of the Eldar book. Then he's the Yaden dude. Put him in the Yaden thing.
I think the argument with that is because technically Uriel is kind of an outcast because he was banished.
Well, I think he's now established as the leader of the Yaden. From what I could read from the dwarf when they were talking about when they brought up the monologue. It's just
I think
I'd be like having, for example, a Flesh Terrorist supplement and having the Captive Master still be in the Blood Angel book.
Yeah, not having Gabriel Seth in there would be a sin.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, yes, this opens the doors for potentially different special characters for Yaden, but it's like, well, your Prince is in here. And I'm assuming, of course, it's a supplemental book, meaning you need to run through the Eldar Code.
Well, the way that this book is I want to say it's about, from my understanding, 70% fluff. Then the rest is broken down into special missions, specifically reenacting the famous moments of Iaden's history, like the fight of the High Fleet Kraken. And then a couple of some bonus rules, and then suggestions on how to build an Iaden Codex army with the Eldar Codex. Like, it's not it's not like the old Craftworld Codex, where they're like, oh, if you want to play Iaden, we recommend you doing Spirit Seers, oh, if you want to be Iaden, here's an extra power list for the Spirit Seer, like type of thing. It's very much like a D&D type of supplement where there's no way around it. You have to use the Eldar Codex to use this book.
Okay.
Well, yeah, of course, that's why it's billed as a supplemental book, but it's just the supplemental thing. James Rorschach had it in the past, and it got out of hand. It's like, oh, you need this book, and you need to run this codex, and you need this codex, and here's a supplemental book to play in the 13th Black Crusade, or you want to do something else with this. And then it just got out of hand, and then PDFs became involved. If you wanted to run Death Watch squads in your army, for example, one PDF, or Pure Mechanized Imperial Guard became PDF the 4th edition, Pure Armies. It just got out of hand a little bit, and I'm sure they're going to reel it back in now, but it's just...
Yeah.
I feel that, like, the difference between the two now is that, like, back in the day with supplements, some of those supplements, there was no way around it. You needed the book in order to play that. With the way the Eldar Codex is set up, you do not need the Iaden book to run an Iaden army at all.
Right, and that's part of the thing that it's a fine line with the supplement. If you're going to have it be a pre-established thing that exists, and Iaden has always been a part of, it's been a part of Eldar. You don't want to need the supplement, but at the same time, if you're an Iaden fan, you're going to want to run the supplement, which is kind of the way it should be done. More of a want than a need. But still is.
Like, personally, I'm probably...
If it's really fluff-driven, then write a novel about it. People can read the fluff. I just think things should be self-contained in a codex, and that's it. Just because the codex, if you think about it, the codices got a lot thicker than they used to be. So, you can just always make the hair and breadth thicker to include the Iaden, or include one thing for each major craft world. Because
like I said, I didn't go. I'd probably get the Uthway one because my craft world was kind of my craft world I created kind of was based off of Uthway to begin with. But I kind of preferred the supplement that came out with it, the Altar of the Eldar, where it was just 6 missions for an Eldar player to suggest. If you rolled one of the missions in the 6th edition book, you can supplement out with one of these missions. And I think that would be a more interesting idea if they just, maybe it was, right now it's like it was a, I think it's like a $10 book, bump it up to 20 and throw in a bunch of throw a bunch of Craft World missions in there as well.
Well, I mean, having it be mission-based or biased or whatever, is purely mission thing and nothing as like a supplement to, hey, if you're a fan of a particular craft world, this, but just a scenario for craft worlds, for example. That's just like a battle mission book, and that's cool, that's fine. It's when you start billing it as a supplemental book for this particular faction of whatever. That'd be like the Space Marines that's coming out, and then you go, here's an Imperial 5th supplement. Well, my standard's already in the book. I can run an Imperial 5th army very well and good. Why even supplement? If it turns out to be like mostly fluff with like, here's a mission and here's like an extra psychic power table thing for Imperial 5th specific librarians or whatever, it almost seems like, why even bother to me? And we'll have to wait and actually see what the supplement really looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's one, like I said, the only one I'd be interested in is the Uthway one, because I want to have more psychic powers. What? Sorry?
You know that they're going to do an Uthway one?
They're not.
They haven't indicated. It's probably, this is a test book to see if it's worth doing the others, which is probably why they built it the way they did. That way, if the worst case scenario happens, we're not losing anything.
Right, I just was curious if you thought they were, I mean, it sounds like you want them to. It would be cool to get more than one supplement. But I thought maybe they went with Iaden, because, I mean, all the big craft worlds are unique, but Iaden really has that unique necromancer feel to it.
Yeah.
It felt
it's like, I'm just saying, like, I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is cool. Maybe if someone gives me, an extra iTunes card, I'll pick it up, but the only one I would go out of my way for would be an Uthway one.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but like I said, more so would prefer just everything self-contained as best they can in a codex, and then if they want to broaden the horizons of any of the factions, a short story or a novel is, I think, the best way to do that.
Yeah.
Because this can get out of hand again.
The only supplement I'd like them to really do, if they do decide to do supplements, is just give us more of, like, I hate to say, like, Forces of the Imperium or, like, mercenaries, and give us those little bits that we can use for allies. Like, I don't know if we need, like, craft world specific or, you know, chapter specific books, but, like, books that, like, describe little things that we can't normally play, like, crude army add-ons, because there are little things for that, or other Inquisitor stuff. You know, stuff like that would be cool. I know that's kind of wish listy, but I think that's probably part of what they're planning to go for is, because I know there's been a lot of talk of doing a mercenary book, because they should.
There's also talk that Iaden was a trial run to see if doing Legion books was worth it.
Why would they do Legion books?
For
the original
Sons,
Legion.
Emperor's Children, Death Guard, and all them.
I guess.
Yeah, because originally there was a rumor back in the day that they were going to get the Chaos, because this was back before the 6th edition
The
Chaos
4th
book
sets.
came out.
Yeah.
Because the Chaos book before this, and even the 6th edition Chaos book, is more for Chaos Renegades, when you really look at it. It's more for chapters that have recently fallen to Chaos. And doesn't quite have the Legion feel, except for the squad size of certain units. And what they really were going to do is really up the ante. They're basically making a supplemental book for each of the Chaos Cult Legions, starting off because it's the easiest to do. Because, you know, it's a Death Guard specific, it's, you know, Neuro specific, Slaanesh, whatever. 4,000 Suns, Death Guard, and all them, to really make you have the ability to play a Legion again. Because when you think about it, the 4th edition, I guess we would call it book, the one back when demons were a part of it still, was very Legion driven.
There was that was 3rd ed was when it was very big in the Legions.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was still around the 4th edition, so I don't know what edition the book was.
It's hard to tell. They kind of overlap with editions, you know.
But 4th edition was the one that I've been playing mostly. And before that was the one where they got rid of the Demon series. Like it was in 3rd ed.
That was the super generic Chaos book. This super generic, super like, hey, it's Chaos. Oh, what are you playing?
Yep.
Chaos. What faction Chaos? The Chaos faction of Chaos. It's kind of
like 3rd ed was where you could really produce, like, that's when all they had the chapter approvals and such to make, you know, oh, if you had 9 sorcerers, then you cast spells for free if you're 1,000 Suns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you had the dude on a bike that could teleport.
Yeah. But, so, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Now, all of us here have a Spacian chapter that we enjoy, right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Now, even if we're playing them or not, I know Starklord has a collection and works of one faction, if not 2 different factions, not directly to play, but just to have a collection of.
I have like 3 different Space Marine armies that I'm painting just on the side, to be honest. Actually 4, because one
I actually just finished up the 1,500 points that we were due for the Legends of War thing, actually.
I just base painted my repaint of my Crisis suits today. That's how far behind I am, since I zeroed out everything over the week.
So, that's Dark Angels, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also am with Dark Angels, and there's talk about, what is that, Raven Guard and Blood Ravens? Are there any other established chapters?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that I like? Or that I collect?
No, that you painted. That's painted right now. Yeah, we have Blood Ravens, right?
I have my Blood Ravens I'm not getting rid of. I have some Raven Guard. I have a couple of Death Guard guys painted.
Well, I'm not counting traders.
Okay, then, yeah, no, just Raven Guard and Blood Ravens.
Alright, now here's the thing. What, you know, if you were given the funds, you don't have to worry about funding it yourself, but you had to paint up a Space Marine army, a different one, that could not be what you already have painted up, even if you only have a squad or do paint it up. Which chapter would you choose? If you had to choose, like, your other favorite, you know, like, which one would go, you know what? If I can't be Dark Angels, I'll be this. So if I can't do Blood Ravens, or if Blood Ravens and Raven Guard were taken away from me as far as the ability to do it, but I was given the ability to do another one, what would it be?
That's a good question. Anyone want to start that? Because I think I have an answer, but I don't want to go first.
I would think primarily because of the rules for them, I think I would pick Blood Angels.
Okay.
Because I do kind of like the red color scheme, and I like Librarian Dreadnoughts.
You would like Librarian Dreadnoughts. I think of all, like, pre-established chapters that I haven't painted anything up of, and you have to do their scheme, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Iron Hands. Yeah.
I thought you would pick Iron Hands.
Iron Hands are, like, one of my definite favorite legions, and they are a very cool chapter, and they should get more love. Like, maybe a special character eventually.
Seriously, especially, we introduced Master of the Forge, and not even a special character variant. That's gonna be obviously should be Iron Hands. What's wrong with you?
I know, like, gosh, they're the Iron Hands book, which I never finished reading because it's a tough book to read. It's not one of the better written GW books, but whatever. Like, the main character is like an Iron Priest, like, straight up. He's like he's an Iron Father. Why isn't there one of those in there? It's a super easy special character. Give him, like, an extra wound and an extra special ability for Iron Hands or something, and you're done. Don't even bother with making a model, just... Yeah. So what would you do?
Alright, well, I was thinking about this because Space Marines are cool. When I first got into Space Marines, the obligatory Ultramarine was something I painted up.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of flack, but I really like the Ultramarines. I think they're cool, and they have some of the coolest models, the Ultramarine Honor Guard.
Yeah.
They're really cool models. And they're almost reason enough to try and to paint if I was going to want to play Ultramarines, because those models are awesome. Heck, we don't have Honor Guard limits sergeants. They look that awesome. But then Blood Angels, I'm a fan of Blood Angels. I like the super clean, crisp look of these highly aggressive assaulters. We're gonna wear golden armor, but we're gonna rip you apart in close combat. It's like,
and don't forget they look pretty under that armor too.
Yeah,
they
we look fabulous. We look fabulous, and we might drink some of the population's blood. Whatever.
Just a little bit. Step aside. No big deal. Don't worry about it.
I like how they actually sleep in caskets.
They are a fun chapter.
So I really like the Blood Angels, which would be another one for me that I would consider. See, it's like, here's an embarrassing note. I started painting up Dark Angels, and when I was painting up Dark Angels in the very beginning, I was like, man, you know what's really cool? The Salamanders.
Yeah,
but
I've heard this story.
But I couldn't. I'm like, you know what? They don't. If they had only they had a transfer. Now, don't ask me how I did this, because it was roughly like 6 months before I started playing up my Dark Angel when I first got into 40K, and I actually bought a squad and looked at it. But I somehow missed the blazing white, really obvious Salamanders that transfers that are on the regular transfer sheet.
Yeah.
I never saw them until a year after I painted Dark Angels and went, what?
But you know what?
They've been here the whole time?
Yeah. First off, I forgot, Flesh Terrors are awesome. I'd probably do them too. But on a side note, people really hate the Ultramarines for no good reason. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah. You know why? Because they view the Ultramarines, and it's not like, why it's a national answer, but really when you look at it, they're the poster child of the generic codex you use to play whatever you want. And if you want to play Ultramarine correctly, quote-unquote, or really use their special characters or not, you're not going to run anything super crazy. And that's their strength. Their strength is, no matter what, we got this.
Yeah.
It's like, we have our assaulters, we have our super shooters, we have our librarian that's one of the most powerful librarians ever librarian. And we have this stuff. We got, but we're very much the stereotypical picture of a Space Marine in terms of capability. Jack of all trades type of thing. We're not the aggressive assaulting infiltrators of the Raven Guard. We're not the stubborn gunline of the Imperial Fists a bit. We're not any of that. We're bland to use a bit. I don't like that word for them, but that's their strength.
Their strength is they're
"Oh,
supposed to be adaptable. Like they're that, like, you know, it's hard to represent that on a table though. It's like they're going to go into each fight doing something that's most effective, regardless. I mean, Blood Angels are always assault, even if it's not efficient, because that's all they know how to do. But Ultramarines are like, maybe we shouldn't assault this time. Maybe we should just take out the really big gun and shoot it from a distance. You know,
Yeah.
and that's why I think they're cool.
Yes. But ultimately, I can't pick up a Paradons because I have a model set up as Paradons. Like, in my own rules for this, I can't pick them. But I love their fluff
They are pretty
so
solid.
much. I like their super, super patient, still attitude. And then once their prey is sighted, they just go from being a statue to an explosion of movement. And then if they have to, they'll retreat and hit you again like a shark would. I really like it. They really embody the shark hunting aspect, and it works really well when you think about it as a Space Marine chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to, ultimately, I think I would pick the Imperial Fists.
Oh, it's a tough
Because
option.
they're so yellow, and I would, first off, it would be terrible because I'm terrible with yellow, but I would make them so yellow that yellow would be afraid to be yellow.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, you know what that means.
And I would add in elements of gold and bronze to them. I'll make them a bit more like we
Ornate.
are.
Yeah.
Or a bit more ornate and a bit more. We were at the gates of Terra. We were one of the guardians of the Emperor. Robodong found the Emperor after he slew Horus. We're kind of important.
This is one thing. I actually, just speaking of random stuff, I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do that. What we do here.
I do that a lot.
Yes, you. It's okay though.
Oh, just because I feel it's obligatory, Robotech. There you go.
There we go. Should we mention other games that people should play? Oh, that reminds me. The last podcast, which I unfortunately couldn't make it to because I had an emergency, and I told Matt right before, I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to make it. The guest, Frank, who I haven't spoke to in years, but mentioned two really cool games that you guys never heard of, and you should have. Fiasco and Small World are both great games. You should play them. Why aren't you?
Now that you're ordering me, I'm going to refuse.
That's fine. You can miss out on great gaming, whatever.
But, speaking of that, we actually do have an L5R game coming up soon.
Yeah, as soon as we settle on a day for it, we could start doing that.
To be perfectly honest, also for the War Machine players, now's the time, even if you don't ever plan on picking up Convergence of Cyrus, or if you are, now's the time, if you have War Room, to pick up their deck, because it's only $4.99.
Yeah, but it might not get more than that, because they really aren't going to have a large release, but heck, do it anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is if they do,
it gets worse.
Throw out anything else, you're settled.
It's very true.
Set. Because it's only $4.99.
Yeah, and I remember we talked about War Room when it was coming out and how it was a little glitchy when it came out. But you've been using it, so how'd it go?
I did use it once. It works better. It's better if you have the deck.
Well, yeah, you need the decks to actually use it, frankly.
Yeah, some of the things though is it's a little. There's one or two little glitchy things in it where, say if you take one of the themes in the game. Like, a good example is Nemo's Weatherman 1. If you pick that theme, and you have Nemo, you have a Heavy Warjack or a Thunderhead, or an unnamed Warjack or a Thunderhead, you have what's a Stormsmith unit, which I don't know what that is. Storm Guards, Stormsmith solos, and that's it. Then you get then the Stormsmiths have a +1 to their field allowance. Well, the app doesn't compensate for that. So it's going to say, oh, you're in violation, even though you're not in violation because you're using the setup. So the thing won't compensate cards too tailored to specific game rules, like if you have this, then this happens type of thing.
Okay, so it doesn't go with, I forget what they call it, the theme builds that they have.
Yeah, it will tell you what you need to do the theme builds, but so far, unless I'm doing something wrong, I haven't gotten it to accommodate for me using a specific theme.
Okay.
Like, it hasn't accommodated for me doing Nemo Weatherman. But, other than that, I feel that on a tablet it works better. On a smartphone, it's not that great.
Okay, good to know.
Because it's harder to, I find it's harder to keep tallies on the hit points and such, primarily with hordes, because you have to move your finger in a certain way in order for the damage to scroll to the proper section after it's been over yours. It's a little bit easier with War Machine, I think.
Okay.
But all in all, I haven't played it in a game with another person, so I don't know how the game thing works yet. So once you get your convergence, we'll have to try it out.
Okay, so sometime in July.
Yes. And also, speaking of, another unofficial announcement, I'll be making a video later officially saying this. But, as you just say, July 10th, Convergent of Cyrus comes out.
Yep.
And we're going to be giving away a Warcaster.
Ooh, which one?
Whichever one comes out. I don't know which one.
Okay. I think it's going to be the not Prime Action, that's the name of a unit. The dude with the big hammers is the first solo Warcaster they're releasing.
Yes, so it's going to be that guy, but also, I'm throwing in a little extra thing with that. I'm going to have a whole video up that tells you rules on how you need to be entered into it, but let me just see if I can get this stupid thing to show me the information that I want. At the current moment, forgive me, I hate this new setup for all eternity. Let's see, at the current moment we have 360 subscribers.
Okay.
If we
Thank you for subscribing.
Yes.
If we can get that to 500 subscribers by the time Convergent of Cyrus comes out, we'll throw in a battle box as a second prize.
Yeah. So that's, 140 people? So tell your friends.
Yep, so
and tell your friends, tell your wargaming group. And going along with that little incentive there, I just want to say that there's going to be something awesome coming around December time. Maybe after the holidays, maybe January time. So it's sometime, but it's going to be awesome, and it'll be awesomer with more subscribers we get. So it'll be subscriber-only type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will be releasing a video hopefully soon. It's probably either going to come out the same time or before this podcast. And if it is out by the time this podcast is, there'll be a link in the description. Definitely should try it out. And to clarify, what that means is if we don't hit the 500 subscriber mark, then it's going to be Warcaster to a random subscriber. If we hit the 500 subscriber mark, it's going to be random Warcaster to a random subscriber, and another subscriber gets the starter set. So that's awesome. Essentially, we're giving away a grand total of $80 worth of stuff.
Yep.
Just for subscribing.
So get to subscribing. We appreciate it. It lets us know that you support. You may not even like necessarily everything we do, but you're supporting what you do like, and then you can comment and help us grow, because we are of the community for the community. That's how we roll here at Fearless Games. Get it? Roll? See what I did there?
The puns. People with the puns.
But yeah, and then more puns to happen in December, and more funds to happen in December, especially if we get more subscribers. Speaking of something, real quick, the Robotech Kickstarter, because I obligatory mentioned it, and I figured, hey, I can actually make just the obligatory mention of Robotech, considering I mentioned that a lot in the past, but it also made it somewhat useful. I don't think the site is live yet, but the creators of the Robotech war game are going to put a site up that can let people who have donated manage their donations further if they want to add or even take away money, but to add money to pick up extra add-on packs. And then if you haven't donated, but you're thinking, hey, I want to get in on this, well, it's happening. And then you can donate some money to them anyway and pick out certain add-ons or certain things that you want to get. So, for donating a certain money. So you can still support that if you want to. And speaking of Mecca Warrior Online, it's still around. It's cool.
Yeah.
They added some mechs. They got the Jaeger mech in there, Cataphract and whatnot. They're adding the mech Blackjack, and they got some hero mechs, which the way they work is they're special regular mechs with a special name and whatnot. They're still around. I believe they added another map. I haven't been able to patch it recently. I've been super busy, but they added another map, or at least they were talking about it, and there will be more mechs in the works. So that's cool. And then there's Mech Warrior Tactics. If you don't want to do first-person view, there's almost like an MMO strategy type thing. It's kind of like Mech Commander, but online. That's still in closed beta. You can become a founder for and support if you want to. Because, as we all know, giant robots are awesome.
Giant robots are awesome. Everyone digs giant robots. It's in the theme song.
You know, you dig giant robots. I dig giant robots. And chicks dig giant robots.
Rock.
So, clearly, they're awesome, and you should check those things out. You can pick giant robots. So why wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, why wouldn't you?
So, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you all for listening.
Oh, that's bad.
So, until next time, Fearless Gamers, this is Matt the Vet.
James the Wildcard.
And me.
Who are you?
Wow.
I'm nobody. The Stark Lord.
Where do you
I don't
have
know
from?
my own name.
So, until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.
Bye-bye now.